When Ramadan begins, the gates of paradise are opened, the gates of hell are closed, and the devils are chained. At first glance, this hadith seems to raise a question that many people quietly wonder about. If the devils are chained during Ramadan, why do people still commit sins? Why do we still see anger, gossip, lying, or wrongdoing? The answer lies in understanding the deeper nature of human behavior and the wisdom behind this hadith. First, it is important to understand that Islam teaches that humans do not sin only because of Shaytan. Shaytan certainly whispers evil ideas and temptations, but he does not control our actions. The Quran explains that Shaytan only invites people toward evil, but the human being still chooses whether to follow or reject that invitation. Even outside Ramadan, Shaytan cannot force anyone to sin. His influence is only through whispers, known in Islam as waswasa. Therefore, when Ramadan arrives and the devils are restrained, it removes a major source of temptation, but it does not remove the human ability to choose. Another major reason we continue to sin is the presence of the nafs, the inner self or ego. Islamic scholars often describe the nafs as the internal struggle within every person. It can push a person toward desires, comfort, anger, and selfishness. If a person has spent 11 months feeding bad habits, backbiting, anger, laziness in prayer, or dishonesty, those habits do not suddenly disappear on the first night of Ramadan. Just like a body becomes used to certain foods, the soul also becomes used to certain behaviors. For example, someone who has developed the habit of gossip may continue doing it even without Shaytan's whispers, simply because it has become part of their routine. Ramadan exposes these habits, showing us what we have trained ourselves to do throughout the year. Some scholars also explain that the hadith about devils being chained may refer primarily to the strongest and most rebellious devil. Not every single whispering influence. This means that the overall environment becomes more peaceful and spiritually uplifting, but human weaknesses still remain. This is why Ramadan often feels spiritually different. Many people notice that worship becomes easier, mosques become full, people recite more Quran, charity increases, and hearts feel softer. The reduction of Shaytan's influence allows the natural goodness inside people to rise more easily. However, Ramadan is not meant to be a month where sin becomes impossible. Instead, it is meant to be a training ground. Think of Ramadan like a spiritual reset. When the devils are restrained, Allah removes many external distractions so that we can focus on fighting the enemy within ourselves. It becomes a month where we confront our habits, weaknesses, and desires. If someone still lies, argues, or harms others in Ramadan, it reveals that the problem may not only be Shaytan, it may also be the person's own nafs and habits that need purification. This is why fasting in Islam is not just about staying hungry and thirsty. The Prophet Muhammad warned that some people gain nothing from their fast except hunger. A person who fasts but continues lying, arguing, and harming others misses the deeper purpose of fasting. The real goal of fasting is to develop Taqwa, which means consciousness of Allah and self-control. When a person resists food and drink for many hours, they train themselves to resist other desires as well. Ramadan therefore becomes a powerful opportunity to rebuild character. When Shaytan is chained, the battlefield becomes clearer. The struggle is mainly between the believer and their own nafs. In fact, Ramadan reveals an important truth about human nature. If someone can control their anger, avoid gossip, pray regularly, and give charity during Ramadan, it means they were always capable of doing these things. The absence of Shaytan simply made it easier. This realization should inspire hope rather than disappointment. It shows that goodness already exists inside us. We simply need discipline and awareness to bring it out consistently. When Ramadan ends and the devils are released again, the habits we built during the month can act like spiritual armor. A person who trained their soul through prayer, patience, and self-control will be stronger when facing temptations later. In this way, Ramadan is not just a month of fasting. It is a month of transformation. Allah temporarily reduces external temptations so that we can focus on fixing our internal ones. So if we still see sins during Ramadan, it does not mean the hadith is wrong. Instead, it reveals something deeper. Shaytan may whisper, but the real battle has always been inside the human heart. And Ramadan is the time when that battle becomes most visible and when victory becomes most possible.